The day is slowly letting go. The sharp edges of sound and thought begin to soften, as if the world itself is becoming quieter on purpose. Nothing needs your attention anymore. Nothing needs to be solved. This story is not something you need to follow. It is something you can simply allow to exist in the background while rest arrives. Far from busy places and unfinished conversations, there is a town that most people never notice. It is not hidden. It is simply quiet. So quiet that the world often passes it by. The town rests beside a wide, dark river. The water moves slowly there, so slowly that it looks almost still. At night, the river reflects no stars, no lights, only depth. It has been flowing like this for centuries, carrying nothing urgent, nothing loud. The buildings in the town are old, but well cared for. Stone walls, wooden doors, windows that glow softly at night. No bright lights, no noise, just a calm presence, as if everything has already found its place. People in the town move slowly. They do not rush. They do not shout. When they speak, their voices are low and gentle, like they do not want to disturb the night. They understand something that the rest of the world has forgotten. That night does not need to be filled. As evening settles, lanterns are lit one by one, not to light the streets, but to remind the darkness that it is welcome. The air cools, the sounds fade, the town exhales. A traveler arrives just as the sky darkens completely. He does not remember when his journey began, only that he has been moving for a long time, too long. His thoughts have grown tired of following him. His body feels heavy, not with pain, but with exhaustion that sleep alone can fix. He crosses a small stone bridge over the river. His footsteps are quiet. The water below does not react. The river continues its slow movement, patient and deep. As he walks through the town, no one stops him. No one asks questions. Doors remain closed, but warm light spills gently from behind the curtains. It feels like walking through a place that already knows you are tired. The traveler finds an empty bench near the river. It faces the water. He sits down without thinking. The bench is cool and solid. It holds him easily, as if it has been waiting. The night grows deeper. The river continues to move slow and smooth. The sound it makes is barely noticeable, more like a feeling than a noise. It is steady, repeating, endless. Breathing becomes easier here. Inhale, exhale. The traveler notices that his thoughts are no longer forming complete sentences. They appear briefly, then drift away. There is no need to hold on to them. The night does not ask for explanations. Above, the sky is dark and wide. No clouds move. No stars demand attention. Everything feels distant in the best possible way. Time behaves differently now. Minutes stretch, then disappear. The idea of counting becomes unnecessary. The river does not measure time. The town does not measure time. The bench does not measure time. Neither does sleep. The traveler leans back slightly. His shoulders relax. His hands rest loosely at his sides. His breathing slows without effort. The night seems to move closer, wrapping around him like a heavy, comfortable blanket. Nothing bad happens. Nothing dramatic occurs. The town remains quiet. The river remains deep. The lanterns remain soft and steady, and that is why rest arrives. Sleep does not crash into him. It does not pull him under. It simply settles, gently, the way dust settles on old stone. Slowly, completely. The traveler does not notice the exact moment when his thoughts stop. There is no signal, no transition. One moment he is listening to the river, and the next moment he is no longer listening at all. The town continues to exist. The river continues to flow. The night remains calm and undisturbed, and somewhere between the sound of the water and the stillness of the air, sleep takes its place and stays. Far from busy shores, there is a lighthouse that no longer guides ships. It stands on a high cliff above a dark, endless sea. The waves below move slowly, rolling in and out with a deep, steady rhythm. There are no storms here, no cries of seabirds, only water and night. The lighthouse still glows, but softly. Its light does not sweep the ocean. It does not warn. It simply exists, warm and constant, like a heartbeat in the dark. A caretaker lives inside, or perhaps he only rests there. No one remembers when he arrived. He does not keep time. He does not wait for morning. He listens to the sea and breathes with it. Inside the lighthouse, everything is simple. Stone walls, a wooden chair, a small window facing the water. The air smells of salt and old wood. At night, the caretaker sits and watches the light reflect on the waves. The sound of the sea is low and hypnotic. Each wave arrives, then leaves, arrives, then leaves. Nothing is rushed. Slowly, thoughts fade. The body grows heavy. The sea continues, endless and calm. And sleep arrives, carried gently on the sound of water. Before sleep finds you, allow your thoughts to slow down. There is nothing you need to hold on to. Nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to remember. You do not need to listen closely. You do not need to follow the story. You can simply let the sound remain while everything else gently fades. Tonight, this is not a story that asks for attention. It is a story that allows attention to drift away. Far beyond the places where people hurry, there exists a quiet land known as the Valley of Stillness. It is not marked on any map. It does not belong to any kingdom. It has no gates, no borders, and no beginning. The valley has always been there, long before footsteps touched its ground, long before names were given to places, long before time was measured. During the day, the valley looks peaceful and empty. Soft grass moves slowly in the air. Low hills rest without shape. The sky above feels wide and distant. Nothing demands attention there. Nothing asks to be noticed. But when night arrives, the valley becomes deeper. The light fades gently. Shadows stretch and soften. The air grows heavier, not with fear, but with calm. Sound disappears first, then movement, then the idea of direction. Those who wander near the valley often feel tired without knowing why. Their steps slow, their breathing deepens, their thoughts grow quiet. Some turn away, feeling that rest is too close, that silence is too heavy. Others continue forward, not pulled, not pushed, but gently allowed. Long ago, a wanderer reached the edge of the Valley of Stillness. He had walked for many years, through cities that never slept, across roads that never ended, beneath skies that always felt unfinished. His nights were restless. Even when he slept, his thoughts remained awake. Memories followed him without invitation. Questions waited without answers. When he stepped into the valley, nothing greeted him. No sound, no sign, no movement. Only a quiet that felt older than memory. With each step forward, the world became softer. The wind faded first. Then the sound of his footsteps. Then even the sense of distance between one moment and the next. The path beneath his feet appeared naturally, not as a road, but as a gentle suggestion. There was no need to choose. The valley guided him without effort. As he walked, his thoughts began to loosen. Memories surfaced slowly, without emotion, without urgency. Faces from long ago, moments that once felt important, places that no longer existed. The valley did not show him visions. It did not force reflection. It simply created enough quiet for remembering to happen on its own. Time lost its shape. Minutes passed without meaning. Hours faded without notice. The idea of waiting disappeared. Eventually, the wanderer reached a wide clearing. At its center stood a single stone bench, smooth, worn, unmarked. It had no purpose. It did not invite. It did not refuse. The wanderer sat. Nothing happened. The valley did not react. The air did not change. The world did not move forward. And yet, something inside him settled. His breathing slowed naturally. The tension he had carried for years began to soften. Above him, the sky darkened gently. Stars appeared one by one, their light distant and quiet. The silence deepened, not empty, but full. As the night continued, the wanderer noticed other presences, not bodies, not shapes, not voices, just awareness, resting gently throughout the valley. Each presence felt calm. Some felt tired. Some felt ancient and patient. They did not speak. They did not move. They simply existed, listening. The wanderer understood without being told. This valley was not a place of arrival. It was a place of remaining, not forever, not by force, by choice. Here, nothing asked him to continue. Nothing waited beyond the moment he was in. Nothing required his attention. He remained seated as the night deepened further. The air cooled slightly. The grass no longer moved. The valley rested in complete stillness. Thoughts appeared less often now. When they did, they faded quickly. Sleep approached gently, without resistance, without effort. The valley did not sleep, but within it, rest was always possible. The wanderer remained not because he was trapped, but because he was finally still. And the valley continued, unchanged, patient, quiet. Even now, the valley of stillness remains, waiting, listening. If you are listening as sleep comes closer, there is nothing else you need to do. You do not need to reach the end of this story. You do not need to remember what was said. The sound will continue. The valley will remain, and rest will arrive in its own time. Let your thoughts drift. Let the quiet stay. Good night. Travelers who pass nearby often feel heavier as evening approaches. Their steps slow. Their thoughts grow softer. Some feel an unexplainable pull to stay. Others feel a quiet relief when they leave. Long ago, a wanderer arrived at the edge of the silent valley. He had walked for many seasons, following roads that led nowhere in particular. His nights were restless, and his dreams never stayed long enough to finish. When he stepped into the valley, nothing greeted him. No sound, no movement, only a gentle stillness that felt older than memory. The farther he walked, the quieter the world became. The wind faded. His footsteps softened. Even his breathing seemed distant, as though the valley was slowly absorbing everything unnecessary. The path beneath his feet appeared naturally, curving without intention. There was no need to choose a direction. The valley guided him without effort. As he walked, his thoughts began to drift. Memories surfaced slowly, without emotion or urgency. Moments from his past floated by like reflections on water, appearing and fading without demand. The valley did not show him visions. It did not force understanding. It simply provided enough quiet for the mind to release what it no longer needed. Time passed without shape. Minutes and hours blended together. The wanderer no longer wondered how long he had been walking. Eventually, the path opened into a wide clearing. At its center stood a single stone bench, worn smooth by age and weather. No markings, no purpose, just presence. The wanderer sat. Nothing happened. The valley did not react. The air did not change. And yet, something within him settled. His thoughts slowed further. The tension he had carried for years began to loosen without effort. The sky above the valley darkened gradually. Stars appeared one by one, their light soft and distant. The silence grew deeper, not empty, but full. As the night continued, the wanderer noticed other presences, not people, not shapes, just a sense of quiet awareness, resting gently throughout the valley. Each presence felt calm. Some felt tired. Others felt ancient and patient. They did not speak. They did not move. They simply existed, as though listening to the stillness itself. The wanderer understood without being told. This valley was not a place to arrive at. It was a place to remain, not forever, not by force, but by choice. Here, nothing asked him to continue. Nothing asked him to decide. Nothing waited for him beyond the moment he was in. He remained seated as the night deepened. The air cooled slightly. The grass no longer moved. The valley rested in complete calm. His breathing slowed naturally. Thoughts came less frequently. When they did, they faded quickly, unable to hold their shape in such quiet. Sleep approached gently, without warning or resistance. The valley did not sleep. But within it, rest was always possible. The wanderer remained, not because he was trapped, but because he was finally still. Even now, the silent valley remains, unchanged, patient, quiet. If you are listening as sleep comes closer, there is nothing else you need to do. The story will continue without effort. The valley will remain, and rest will arrive in its own time. Let the sound fade. Let the quiet remain. Good night. Before you fall asleep, allow yourself to slow down. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to worry about tonight. This story does not demand your attention. It does not rush. It does not surprise. It simply exists, quietly, in the background, as you rest. Tonight, I will tell you a dark fairy tale, not one meant to frighten you, but one meant to gently carry your thoughts away like leaves drifting on still water. Far from the noise of the world, there is a forest that has existed longer than memory. No one knows who first walked beneath its trees, and no one remembers when it began. The forest does not belong to any kingdom. It does not appear on maps. It does not announce itself. It simply waits. During the day, it looks ordinary. Tall trees, deep roots, soft shadows between the trunks. But at night, the forest becomes something else. The air grows heavier. The sounds of the world fade away, and time begins to move differently. Travelers who pass nearby often feel tired without knowing why. Their steps slow. Their thoughts grow quiet. Some turn away. Others continue forward, drawn by a calm they cannot explain. Long ago, a wanderer arrived at the edge of this forest. He had walked many roads and slept beneath many skies, but none had ever felt truly quiet. His nights were restless, his dreams unfinished. When he stepped beneath the first trees, the forest did not greet him. It did not react. It simply allowed him to enter. The deeper he walked, the softer the world became. Footsteps lost their echo. The wind faded into nothing. Even his breathing seemed distant, as though the forest was gently absorbing sound itself. He felt no fear, only a growing sense of ease. The path beneath his feet appeared without effort. It curved naturally, guiding him forward. Not pulling, not pushing, just allowing. As he walked, his thoughts began to loosen. Memories drifted in and out. Faces he had not seen in years. Voices he had almost forgotten. The forest did not show him visions. It did not demand reflection. It simply created enough silence for remembering to happen on its own. Eventually, the trees opened into a small clearing. At its center stood a simple wooden house. No windows, no lights, no sound. It felt neither abandoned nor occupied. It felt patient. The wanderer stood before it for a long moment, listening to the quiet. When the door opened, it did so without a sound. Inside, there was no furniture except for a single chair, no decorations, no warmth, no cold, just stillness. As he sat, the forest seemed to settle around him. The edges of the room softened, the walls faded, and slowly, without any effort at all, the house disappeared. He was sitting beneath a tree once more, the night calm and unmoving. Time no longer mattered. Minutes and hours lost their meaning. The forest did not sleep. But within it, rest was finally possible. The wanderer remained, not because he was trapped, but because nothing asked him to leave. He became part of the quiet, another presence among many, a listener, a pause, and the forest continued unchanged on the outside, but deeper within. Even now, the forest still exists, waiting, listening. If you are listening to this story as sleep finds you, there is nothing else you need to do. The story will continue without you. The forest will remain, and rest will come naturally. Let your thoughts fade. Let the sound remain. Good night. Before sleep finds you, allow everything to slow down. There is nothing you need to hold in your mind, nothing you need to follow, nothing you need to understand. This story does not ask for your attention. It does not move quickly. It does not lead anywhere you need to reach. It is simply here, existing quietly in the background, allowing your thoughts to become lighter with every moment. You may listen, you may drift, you may sleep. Far away from places where time feels urgent, there exists a land shaped entirely by stillness. It is not known by many names, because names are rarely spoken there. Those who pass near it often remember the feeling, but not the words. This land rests beyond the edges of familiar roads, beyond schedules, beyond expectations, beyond the constant movement of the waking world. It has always been there, long before people measured distance, long before days were divided into hours, long before silence became something to escape from. During the day, the land appears calm and simple. The ground stretches gently beneath an open sky. Low hills rise and fall without pattern. The air feels soft, as if sound itself grows tired there. Nothing draws attention, nothing stands out. Everything simply remains. But as evening approaches, the land begins to change. The light softens. Shadows lengthen. The colors of the world fade gently, without effort. Sound disappears slowly, not all at once. First the distant noises, then the subtle ones, until only quiet remains. At night, the land becomes deeper, not darker in a frightening way, but deeper in the way water becomes deeper the farther you drift from shore. Those who wander near this place often feel the change before they see anything. Their breathing slows without reason. Their thoughts become less defined. Their bodies grow heavier, as if the land itself is gently asking them to rest. Some turn away. They feel the quiet is too close, too complete. They return to movement, to noise, to familiar distraction. Others continue forward, not because they are curious, not because they are brave, but because the land makes no demands.